Hey y'all, it's Thursday and it's time for the grown folks vibe. So text your friends, call your friends. I didn't send out a reminder because, honey, I've been busy and I had a million things going on. So shoot a text, a reminder to somebody. Invite them to join us on the grown folks vibe because we are going to vibe tonight. I got some good stuff for you, honey. And I know I say that every time I come on, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Y'all excuse my appearance. See, I try to dress up for you guys, because we grown folks and, all that carrying on. But let me tell you, this quarantine, if God said humble yourself and pray, he knew how to pick a way to get us to humble ourselves because, honey, without our lashes and our hair, I got my lashes done today, y'all, for the record. I had to do it. I had to. Everybody had on masks, and they cleaned the salon and all that. And tomorrow I hope to get something done with this head. But if we ever had a time that we needed to be humble, the Lord knew how to humble us, to take away our beauty routines and having to do stuff ourselves. Normally I can keep it together. Y'all know I try to keep it together, but we at war right now, so war against the enemy. So I'm got my little camouflage going on. Welcome, y'all come on in. Hey everybody, who is Kay? Is that Gerald or Jarrell? Hey Sister Lisa, Sister Annie, Christina, Lady 03, Can Do 3. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Grown Folks Vibe. It's time. Come on in and catch the vibe with me. Now, today's topic, y'all, I really need y'all to interact. I really need y'all to give me some. Kenan, oh, hey Kay, your picture's blacked out. That's why I ain't know it was you. But I want to say welcome. I'm Sister Crystal Smith, and we are coming to you live on the Instagram page from Healing H2O, the Temple of Healing Waters, where Bishop Chad Carlton is our bishop. Lady Doris Carlton is our first lady, and we absolutely love them and appreciate them for allowing us to have this platform to be able to have a grown folks conversation, right? So this platform allows us to have real conversations about things that we face as Christians, real topics, the real deal, and still be able to relate it to the biblical standpoint. Well, I don't believe this, or we do believe this. Okay, but what does God's word say? Because a lot of people try to go and be selective with the things that they want to choose to follow in the Bible. So we try to be conclusive. And if I'm wrong about something, y'all let me know. Hit me in the comments. If you have a different point of view on something, let me know. Let's talk about it. Different perspective. Let's talk about it. Today we are going to be talking about moody mates. Moody mates. And that could be a husband, a wife, a friend, a boyfriend, girlfriend. Some of y'all know y'all shacking. I ain't gonna say it, but y'all know y'all shacking. So moody mates. During this time of quarantine, we have been chained and bound to the house with our significant someones, our families. Hey, Tristan. Our friends, our whomever you've been quarantined with. And I'm sure some of us have noticed some different people, completely different people from what you're used to seeing. We're not really used to being around one another 24/7. Either we're at work, we have other obligations, running errands, in and out, and we kind of connect in the evening or at night, even with the kids, So a person's true personality, especially when you cooped up in the house, at first we couldn't go to the park, they didn't want us anywhere. And you really get to see that person's personality come out, right? Hey, Mom. She said mama's baby. Now she know. So you really get to see that person come out when you are confined to the house with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So even with me, when I went home to visit my mother, it was several of us in the house, and I'm used to being home by myself all day. So if I wanted to be quiet, it's quiet. If I want to leave a dish in the sink, I can leave a dish in the sink. If I want, I'm not used to, come in here, have a conversation and interact. And I'm like, and then my mom, do y'all's moms do this? Please tell me that my blessed, sweet mother with her sweet self is not the only one that does this. So I'm in the other room. I might be on the laptop. I might be fixing something to eat, doing whatever. Hey, Chris, what you doing? Do y'all mom do that to y'all? Do they ask y'all what you doing in the other room? Like when you just in the house, like just chilling, and they just be like, what you doing? So I had to get used to somebody ask me what I'm doing, and no harm in it. She just want to know what you're doing. You're making a lot of noise. What you doing? So a lot of times, and I don't know if you all go this, because I know y'all been saved since 1917, and y'all don't get mad, and y'all don't act ugly, and y'all don't argue. Like I said, argue. Y'all don't argue. So I want to know, are you all having issues, problems? What's going on with in the household? Y'all drop it in the comment. Cedric said my mother does too, even when she calls. Yes. Well, when you call somebody, it's kind of like you get special permission because you can't see what they doing. But when you in the house and you one room over, and you be like, hey, what you doing? Or I could be sitting right in the living room on the laptop and she'll be like, what you doing? It's kind of funny, but it's cute. Tristan said, nope, me and my mom have telepathy. So y'all just sending signals through the house like, choom, and she already know. Well, that's a good arrangement to have. Hey, Pastor Chester, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining me. Let me know what is going on while you all are quarantined over there with your loved ones, your spouse, the children. Are y'all driving each other crazy? Let me know what's going on, because, I mean, I could come home to this sweet, quiet place, but what are y'all doing over there with all these children? I know a family that has like 4 kids, the husband, the wife, the dog, and the cat. It's just something always going on. Y'all tell me how y'all functioning over there. Today, I want to talk to you about Moody mates and give you all a few tips on how to be able to function during this quarantine time. So now things are starting to open up. Workplaces are starting to open back up, but it still may be a little time, and we still may have a little more time to spend with one another in the house, right? So we want to make sure that we're not coming out of this quarantine filing for divorce, right? Because y'all done worked each other's nerves and you ready to bust somebody upside the head because he left his stock in the middle of the floor, right? So we want to make sure that we are keeping positive energy and that we are acting Christ-like and keeping the relationship alive and loving on one another and even being creative. Y'all got to do a little work now. Y'all got to put in some kind of work. Think of something different. Go build a teepee in the backyard and have dinner, or a tent or something. Put up one of those, what's those lights called? Those lights that you stick in the ground with the little, put something up and call it a candlelight dinner or something. Y'all got to put some effort into work and some work in these relationships. You can't just be like, you driving me crazy. And like, we know everybody can get on everybody's nerves because we're all individuals. We have our own thought processes and things can get a little, a little low. But what we have to do is operate in the spirit of love. The Bible tells us what love is. It's patient and kind and long-suffering, and it's not proud. So if we're operating in love with our loved ones, somebody said they do a lot of meditation. Yes, to keep you calm in that tranquil place. You turn your candles on. And we ain't talking about that Nam Myoho Renge Kyo that they did and what's love got to do with it. We talking about meditation, quietness before the Lord in your quiet space, right? Meditation is a good thing to do. If you can find a quiet space to meditate. Have y'all seen what the commercials where the mom goes to the bathroom? She's just trying to get away. She might take some chips in there because she just need a second to herself. And before she knows it, those little sweet fingers coming up under the door that you locked. You lit a candle and everything. Thought you was going to get a quiet bubble bath. And those sweet fingers come up under the door talking about mommy. Mommy, can I? Mommy, what you doing? Because they love y'all. But babies are beautiful. Families are beautiful. So I'm going to give y'all some tips on how to cope while you stuck in the house with your families, okay? So the first tip is, don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself and to your loved ones, to your family, your mate, whomever you're with. So a lot is going on right now. Our unemployment rate is at levels that are unprecedented. So a lot of people out of work, a lot of people frustrated, a lot of people upset, a lot of people that are trying to provide and make a way. And the important thing to remember is It's not your fault. You know, nobody saw COVID coming. Nobody saw a lot of this other stuff coming. So the important thing to remember is God will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. And if we are people of faith, then we need to put our faith and our trust in God, take our burdens to him, and allow him to prove and show to us once again that he will come through. And they say he may not come when you want him, but he's always right on time. So don't take your anger or your bitterness for the current situation that's going on out on the people in the family, okay? You want to, if you feel it coming up, go to your space, try to regroup, but don't take it out on your family or your husband or your wife because your circumstances aren't where you want them to be right now. Now, y'all took these vows. Y'all said for better or for worse. And right now might be one of those worst times. So it's a true test to say, you know what? We came out this thing. We came out victorious. The devil couldn't separate us. Man couldn't separate us. COVID couldn't separate us. And we're going to hang in here and work through this thing, right? So that's the first tip. The second tip is it's okay to grieve, but don't fall into depression. Don't allow yourself to continuously be wrapped up in the process, in the thought of your loss. So people have lost loved ones during this pandemic. It's been real, and it's really hit close to home for some people. So just having that balance of healthy grieving and not turning that into depression. There's nothing wrong with talking to a counselor. A lot of people now are doing telehealth appointments. So if you need to call somebody on the line, on the main line, and you need somebody else on the main line other than Jesus, like a counselor or a therapist, it's okay to call someone. I know in our community, sometimes our pride can get in the way, and we will sit there and go through so much when a lot of times we could talk to someone, a professional or a pastor, to kind of give us ways, coping mechanisms to be able to make it through a lot better, right? So it's okay to grieve, but we don't want to allow ourselves to go into a depression. The next tip, kids get stressed out when parents argue. Don't scare the children. So some of us grew up in households where the parents are going to argue and they're going to pick up stuff and throw it, and they're going to throw stuff at the kids and push the mama upside the wall, and even just a man's voice or a woman's voice that is elevated. You're screaming, you're hollering. The kids get really, they're sensitive to those things. And when they have to listen to that, when they have to hear the negative words, it's not healthy for them. And being in these confined spaces, you really want to take note, okay? If you all disagree on something, step outside. Now, don't be outside hollering and screaming where they can still hear you inside, because that defeats the purpose. Step outside and have an adult conversation about what you're disagreeing on, what the issue is, what the problem is. If you all can't seem to agree, just take a break from it. You may need to revisit it. That doesn't mean brush it under the rug and don't address it. It just means right now we're not in a space where we can talk about this in a healthy way. And because we can't get away, I'm going to take a break. Or maybe you need to go for a ride in the car because you're not around anyone. Let the window down, get some fresh air, take some deep breaths, get some fresh oxygen to the brain, right? I was looking at TikTok the other day. Y'all know I love TikTok. And it was a husband up there, and he videoed his wife. He said, "Hey, babe, I think I'm going to go for a ride in the car. I'm just going to go for a ride." And the wife said, "Okay, babe, just let me know when you're ready." So insinuating she going with it. He was like, no. I just want to go for a ride. You know, kind of clear my head and kind of get some space and have some quiet time. She said, "Oh, no problem." She said, "I'll just ride. I won't talk. I won't say anything." So he was like, no. I just want some time to myself, you know, without anybody else around. And she was like, he said, I need time to myself. I'm just tired. You know, I want to take a break. She said, "Well, I'll drive and then you ride in the passenger side. And that way you can really relax." It was really funny. It got me tickled. He said, "You know what? Just don't even worry about it. I ain't going to go anywhere." And she was like, "Okay." And some of y'all just need to give the person a break. Give them their space. You don't have to be latched onto them 24/7. They need a break. They need some time. They need a minute. They don't want to talk. They don't want to look at an article, a TV show, a movie, or nothing. They just need time to be to themselves, right? So wives and husbands, boyfriends and girlfriends, men and women, don't be so clingy that you can't allow that person their space. If they need space, allow them their space. They'll be right back. You hope, unless they go to the store to get some milk and never come back. No, I'm just joking. They'll be back. So give them some space, right? The next tip. I hope these are good tips. What y'all think? Y'all mighty quiet. Tristan said he takes rides weekly. Yes. During this time when we stuck in the house, because all I'm doing over here is eating. I told y'all I'm thicker than a Snicker. I mean it. I mean, I'm blessed that I can, for the most part, still fit in my clothes, but a sister thick. We thickums over here. But glory to God. I'm going to get it together. What y'all doing over there? Y'all eating? I know y'all eat and making babies. So look, the next tip is work through the hard stuff and show vulnerability. Y'all know I have a hard time saying that. Vulnerability and not anger, okay? So some women gotta have the last word. Some men always gotta be right. Nobody knows everything, right? So unless your name is Google, okay? Like my mama say, just ask Miss Google, she know. Unless your name is Google, stop. You don't know everything. And stop. You don't have to have the last word. And he said, and that's the bottom line. And you got to say, nah, that ain't the line. You got to have the absolute last word. No, you do not. Let there be peace, right? Nobody wants a brawling woman. And no woman wants a man that think he knows everything. So y'all cut it out. But no, you really want to be vulnerable, seriously. You want to be able to express your feelings and sometimes not keep that wall up or that barrier up or say, I'm going to look weak if I say this. I'm going to look weak if I do this. Or as a woman, I got to let him know that I'm X, Y, and Z. No. Sometimes we both have to be vulnerable, right? And listen, communicate. An important thing about this pandemic is going to be communication. I mean, the quarantine, being stuck in the house with people, is communication. Like, I know I can be moody. And can. It's something I'm working on. My mama will tell you, she can hit a mood. And my mama know. When she hits that mood, just give me a second. Like, I'll be right back. But I check out for a second, right? Hush, Reginald. I check out for a second, then I have to come back, right? But I'm learning that I have to check my moods. I have to check, why are you moody? What you moody for? There's plenty of food in there if you want to eat, and apparently you've been doing plenty of that, so you don't really need to do any more of that. Maybe you need to go exercise, like go work out, go for a walk, turn on YouTube and walk away the pounds. Everything on YouTube is free. Maybe you just need that moment to be able, because, moody for what? So sometimes I'm honest, like just being completely transparent. I have to check myself, like, Crystal, where you at right now? What you doing? Come on back. Wheel it in and throw it back and take a deep breath and come on back. Nobody wants you to be around you in your little moods, okay? So just being open to communicate. And if you're having a moment where you just really don't want to be bothered, you just really need some space, say, babe, you know what? I'm going to go read a book, or I just need a minute. I need some space. I need some time, and take that time. And the other person needs to respect that person's space and just communicate what's going on with you, right? If you're sad about something, I know this week for me has been one of the roughest weeks. When I tell you I cried all night and woke up and cried all day, I could look on social media. Like, I probably could start crying right now. I could look on social media and I will bust out crying. I could go take Coco for a walk and I would start crying. I had to put sunshades on. It's just a very emotional time right now. But what I've learned is that we still have to learn how to better express ourselves and how to better communicate, because a lot of arguments and misunderstandings happen because of lack of communication. So it's so important, especially if you're living with someone, to be able to communicate what you're going through. if not in that moment, at least at some point, to be able to at least get it off your chest, right? So what's the next tip? What y'all saying up here? Tristan said he right there. Tristan, you always give good input. Thank you so much. I missed y'all for the whole week. I missed y'all. So I'm really glad to be up here today to see y'all. The next tip is, now, you want to carve out space for a long time, but y'all, that's not, when you in a marriage, in a relationship, you also have to make together time. Some of y'all just want a long time. You don't want to be bothered with your husband or your wife. You could care less what they do. When you go on out there, go fishing and fall in the whole lake. You wrong. You just wrong. So you want to make time for togetherness. And during this quarantine is the time that you need to come up with creative solutions. Because you can't just run out to the movies right now. You can't just go to a restaurant for dinner. And half the time when y'all go to the restaurant, both of y'all on a cell phone. One person on social media, the other person texting the choir director. What is going on right now? Like, we're here to have a whole conversation, but we are now socially awkward and do not know how to communicate because of these cellular devices. So you want some alone time where you're not distracted. That person has your undivided attention and you can give them what they need as far as communication, time, touch, and things of that nature. Now, we're not touching on one another if we're not married, right? Or, I mean, you know, the special touching. So I want you all to come up with some creative solutions to be able to date your mates, your friends, boyfriends, girlfriends. I mean, I've seen a lot of creative stuff. People have literally built tents. One dad made a whole walk up movie. So he took all the outdoor patio furniture and lined it up. And he built like this little, some of y'all not handy, so you might have to use stuff that's already built. But he created this whole thing for the TV and set the TV. It was, I don't know what he did it on. You could use a sheet. Put a sheet on the fence. He had a whole projector and had a movie night and had packets of popcorn made for them. So when they came in, one family, they made actual movie tickets where the family member had to give them the ticket when they came in and they could buy food and gummy bears and different stuff. Y'all got to sit down and think of some creative solutions, honey. Turn the TV off and get off social media, and then y'all could come up with some creative stuff to keep the family together, right? Okay, the next tip. Now, this is a big one. This is going to hurt some of y'all's feelings. Split up the housekeeping chores. Let me read that one again. Is the music too loud? Can y'all hear me? Split up housekeeping chores in a way that makes sense. Now, see, some of y'all don't want to do housekeeping chores. You all think that you have a maid, or you just nasty and you don't clean up at all. Either way, it's got to be addressed during this quarantine, okay? So, men, it is not the woman's sole role to clean up your little nasty dishes after you eat. Provide some help. That might be one of the things that's stressing her out. Take out the trash. Ladies, you can take out the trash too. If the man of the house is the cook, take out the trash and wash the dishes. Help a brother out. We know now that roles don't have to be traditional. One person the dad may be the stay-at-home dad to take care of the children, and the mother might go out and work. Now we're in a time that things aren't always what we call traditional, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you want to make sure, especially during this time where we have to be home all the time, that we're not creating more issues around the house because we're being either inconsiderate or, you know, if you know your wife or husband has OCD and he likes all his shirts color coded in the closet, don't go make his shirts a rainbow. Just stick all the colors together. And I'm just using that as an example. If you know your wife doesn't like for you to take your plate after you eat and not scrape it, you just set it down in the sink, so when she get ready to go to wash it, all that stuff is hard and caked up. The least you can do is scrape your plate and rinse it off, right? Rinse the plate off or put it in the dishwasher, even better. Boom. So making sure that you're chipping in and not creating additional stressors in the home. They don't have to be the traditional role of you're a man, take out the trash, you're a woman, you have to cook and clean. Whatever works for your family, whatever your setup is, do that for your family, because that's going to eliminate a lot of arguments right there. Okay? What else I have for y'all? Time just goes by so quickly when I come up here with y'all, and I love y'all so much. The last few. Don't be afraid to seek advice from a professional. We already talked about that. Now, y'all listen to this. Fantasies about being single are just that. So some of y'all married and you be like, ugh, what did I do this for? Why did I get married? Honey, you've been married 17 years. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about looking at her. Don't even think about taking a phone number. Fantasies about single are just that. About being single are just that. When you're single, you want to be married. And when you're married, you want to be single. And when you're single and you find somebody to get married and they drive you crazy, you get married and they working your nerves, guess what? The next one that you get married to gonna work your nerves too. So you might as well just come up with solutions and ways to work through it. Glory to God. The next one, stay humble. And this is my last one, y'all. Stay humble, stay connected, and encourage one another. You know, as women, we feel like, oh, our man should be telling us, oh, baby, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous. Now, we know through the quarantine, y'all gonna have to make that up a little bit. Y'all gonna have to be a little exaggeratory, because we know we not all that beautiful right now. You know, we got special extenuating circumstances. But we love to hear, you beautiful, and I just love the way you fit in that dress. Well, the dress is not fitting like it used to, but I still want to hear that you love the way that I fit in this dress, right? But men also like to be affirmed. Men like to think that they look nice, or that they smell good, or that they did an amazing job on the yard. Some of y'all just ungrateful. You ungrateful and unappreciative. The man goes out in the 90-degree weather. He cut the whole 5 acres of grass. He came in and put some food on the grill for you, helped you with the kids, did all that, and you hadn't parted your lips to say thank you. You still complaining about something, the way he did something. Some of y'all just have a complaining spirit on you. You got a complaining demon, and you need to go pray about it. So, women, let men know that you appreciate them and that you love them. And even if it doesn't matter how small it is, something small that he may have done that's different, or something small that he does all the time. Let him know that you appreciate him and that you love him. And men, don't be afraid to say as many times as you need to your wife, you're an amazing wife. You're an amazing mom. I appreciate what you're doing for me. I appreciate what you do, turning our house into a home. I appreciate you and I love you. Thank you for loving on our family. Thank you for going out to the grocery store and keeping our refrigerator full with our favorite treats and snacks and things of that nature, right? Right. So I am just about at my time. I think I have 1 minute, and I just want you all to know that I have enjoyed having this conversation with you all. I hope that this quarantine is not driving you apart, but actually helping you to get to know one another better, to be able to recognize things in your children that maybe you hadn't seen, talents, gifts, abilities, and just bringing your family closer together, okay? So if you need a minute, take a minute. If you need to go meditate and pray, go meditate and pray. And most importantly, remember, communication is so important, especially when we on lockdown up in this house. I love you all, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Stay blessed. I hope that we will be able to gather again sooner than later. But until we do, please stay safe. In the midst of all the controversy, in the midst of the Black Lives Matter movement, I hope that whatever you choose to do is peaceful and that God would approve of what you're doing. So if you're going out and peacefully protesting, please remember that COVID is still very alive, very much alive, and very well. We need to use wisdom, make sure you're wearing your masks, and as much as possible, try to social distance. I believe in the cause. I believe in expressing yourself in a peaceful, safe, and Christian-like way. Now, don't y'all be down there cussing the officers out, because that's not Christ-like. We want to be representative and have a good witness at all times. So don't y'all be down there and be angry now. Y'all be peaceful and kind and loving, okay? So be careful of the COVID. Y'all put your mask on. If you don't have a mask, let me know. I'll mail you one. Okay? I love y'all. Be blessed. And I will see you next week. Pass the word. Let them know that we are on every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Take care, y'all.